Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to my channel. Today I came here with a guest, but that guest has decided to go faceless. And it's not that he's a guest, actually, I'm the guest on my show. But that person has decided to ask me one or two questions about my journey so far. If you are not familiar with my journey, I started tech 10 years ago. I became a product manager fully 5 years ago. And I've actually walked the grounds of this field or sphere of influence. So if you don't know about my journey, feel free to watch my other videos, and I know I'll bring you up to speed with some of those my videos. So I'll ask him now to ask me the question that has been on his mind. There are some questions that if you don't ask, you can actually puke cry. But this time, I don't want anything to happen to him because he's an amazing person. So he's going to ask me the question, and I will provide answer to it. Please, guys, please ask a simple question.
No problem.
Please,
No problem.
thank you. Okay, you
So,
can go on.
yeah. So I have just this one question
Oh wow, one.
because
Shekere, it's just one question.
it's actually some. Ever since I was watching your YouTube, so I feel like you might be the best person to answer this question. So the question is, how do I maintain composure in technical and or panel interviews? Because there are times that when you get to the interview stage and you get thrown some kind of questions, you don't really know how to go forward from there because you don't want to stay too quiet and you don't want to seem like you are spending too much time thinking about the answer. So how do you, in that process, in that time frame, how do you maintain composure, either technical or panel interviews?
Okay, that's a very good question. I think my first interview was with a lady like that from Europe. I can't remember her name right now, but the show was about Spotlight. So yes, the show was about Spotlight, and she did that interview. So part of what I did then was I was very rusty. In fact, I don't even know how to talk in front of camera. But one thing I knew for sure was I would just do it anyway, and that has also helped me. Do it afraid, do it broken, do it just not do it anyhow, but do it the way you are. But however, I'm believing that this panel interview is not a job interview, right? It's not job interview.
It is not.
It's not job. So that means it's more like you're on a panel and they're asking you questions about your field, and you are mentoring younger people, like the young generation, or even older generation, but they are there to listen in on your conversation.
Yeah.
So these are ways, or these are some of my tips. The first thing is when I'm being asked a question that I don't have an answer to, the first thing I do is I take a deep breath. Do you know what deep breath does to you? It helps you to recalibrate your brain, because it's possible that your brain is faster than your mind. So it brings your brain and your mind back to where it's supposed to be, so that they'll all be on the same frequency and you can think and articulate your thought properly. So I take a deep breath. Don't say, no, that's too awkward. We do things classy way. You just, you can even give some sigh, and the person will say, oh wow, nice question. Those things, they are my tips, so please don't share it with anybody. So if you are watching this video, count yourself lucky to enter my inner chamber, right? Then the second thing I do is I paraphrase the question, because sometimes when people ask you questions, I won't say they don't know what they're asking. It's just that they're asking questions, and you might even have an answer to it, but the way it's being asked is confusing. So I paraphrase the question for clarity's sake. Or you can also say you iterate the question back to them for you to understand what they're asking you, because it's very important. Communication is two-way thing. You can't believe that, yes, don't assume any communication line. Yes, you've told the person A, you have to find out if A is still the A in that person's mind or it is B. So once you paraphrase the question and iterate the question for clarity's sake, that is also another tip that you should not throw away. So the first one is taking a deep breath. Second one is paraphrasing the question or iterating the question to the person who asked you the question for clarity. The third thing is, this one is the tricky one. Answer the question to the best you can. And I believe for you to be on a panel, it means you have an experience in that space. It's not that you just went there haphazardly, or they just called you because you have good face or you are pretty or anything. No, it's because you have something up here. So answer that question to the best you can, because it's possible that when you even answer it, you might not answer the exact question, but you're answering another question that might be in another person's mind, or that will be in one person in the audience mind. Just get the logic, you understand? So you might not ask that exact question, but answering the question to the best you can has also provided a buffer for you to answer other questions with maybe avoiding the other question that you don't know about. So in that way, by the time you answer that question, you have gotten your confidence back, because if you don't have an answer, what happens during that panel is it makes you feel like maybe you are not good enough. You start having imposter syndrome, that maybe you shouldn't be on that panel or anything like that. But if you answer to the best you can answer with other questions that is related, then it gives you that confidence. Then you can then plunge into other questions. Then the fourth thing I'll also do is, this one is where you talk about vulnerability, skipping the question. And when you are skipping the question, please don't say I don't have an answer. Please be polite. You can just say, please, can we skip that question? Especially when you don't want to just give an answer that you are not clear about. It's okay to skip questions. I've been on a panel that someone asked me a question and I don't have an answer, or for the sake of my company's confidentiality, I couldn't answer the question, but I had to skip the question. And I don't think skipping a question will hurt anyone, right? So it's still going to help you in answering the question. Sorry, if I'm looking at this side or this side, we are still looking at ourselves, just assume. So you can tell the person politely, please, can I avoid answering this question, or can you pass this question? There are different ways to politely communicate the idea of skipping that question. Yes. Then the fifth point, this one, everybody in this world, in this universe, must have it. And what is it? Be true to yourself. Why do I say that? Because sometimes we go on panels because we are in a rush to, yes, my friend has been on a panel, I also want to be on a panel. Yes, I want to be talking on Arise TV, I want to talk on Channels TV, and you are not ready for the work. You have not gotten your composure yet, you don't know even to speak, your grammar is still, you know what I mean? In Nigeria, it means it has BS. If you don't understand what it means to have BS, please use ChatGPT or Gemini or DeepSeek, or you reach out to me to translate for you. So at this stage, you have to be true to yourself. And my mentor always says something, Tokwe, don't be afraid of yourself. But in you not being afraid of yourself, you have to also be true to yourself. And he always says something, we say that being true to yourself will take a long time for you to understand that statement. And it's the truth. Being true to yourself will also help you to know that I'm not fit for this panel. Please, yes, maybe it's part of what you still do in your life. You all know that, yes, we all have our life laid out for us, but it might not be now you're supposed to be on that panel. So just be true to yourself and know what you are capable of handling at that present moment. I believe with these 5 points, so let me repeat it again. The first one is take a deep breath. The second one is paraphrase the question or iterate the question for clarity's sake. The third one is answer to the best you can. And I believe this should also be from experience. Don't just answer questions haphazardly. The fourth is skip questions if you are not comfortable with them, but politely ask for that, or politely request for a skip of the question. Then the fifth is be true to yourself. I believe with these few points, you are on your way to composing, organizing, comporting yourself on a panel. And I wish you all the best in your panel. I've been on countless panels, and I can tell you, you can't be ever prepared for that. You keep growing, you keep learning, you keep improving yourself, but know that the sky is your starting point. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel and let's listen to the second question if there's anyone.
That was the question. Thank you very much.
Oh wow, hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, it was really, really helpful and grateful. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much for asking that question. Thank you. Bye guys. Take care.